Morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today to discuss this exciting topic of how food distributors are leveraging artificial intelligence and digital tools today to boost their sales and marketing operations. Thank you for joining us, and I want to thank you, IFMA, as well, for giving us the opportunity to have this conversation with you all today and connect with you. My name is Mathilde Beranger Albert, and I head strategic partnerships at Choco. My mission is to create synergies and alliances with key partners in the food service industry, whether they are buying groups, industry associations, or service providers. And I have the pleasure to lead this webinar today with both Georgie and Joel, who are on the call, and I will let them introduce themselves. Georgie, if you want to start.
Thanks, Mathilde. Hey, everybody. My name is Georgie Thomas. As Mathilde mentioned, I'm the general manager of Choco here in the United States. I've been at Choco for about 2 years now, based out of Los Angeles. I'm in charge of our go-to-market and operations team, which we have distributed all across the country, and super excited to be here to talk more about AI in this context. And I will pass it over to Joel.
Great. Thank you, Georgie. So Joel Wilkerson, Associate General Manager at Produce Express here in Sacramento. Where we specialize in servicing the restaurant and entertainment hospitality industry in this area. Definitely looking at doing day-to-day operations. We do some planning, like projects like Choco, and kind of working on leading the company into the future.
Thank you, Joel. So the goal of this webinar today is to share with you, manufacturer and industry professionals, some of the most innovative ways that distributors are today using to overcome order management and sales-related challenges, thanks to new technology, right? And on Tuesday, I think this conference started with a very interesting session around sales agencies and brokers. And one of the points that were being made is that brokers are also leveraging technology today to sell better, create better assets, and increase their reach, when they work with manufacturers and make sure that their operators are benefiting from the best solution. And so today we're going to focus on this as well, but on another part of the food supply chain, which is more around distributors and operators, and how communication, order management, and marketing is being done. So quickly having a look at our agenda, we will first address the most pressing challenges that distributors face today in the food service industry and what it means for them in terms of opportunities for digital innovations. We will focus on sales and marketing tools that are offered by digital solution and by artificial intelligence. We will hear a few words from Joel around how Produce Express actually uses digital marketing campaigns to increase their reach. And then we will wrap up the session with a few words around Choco as a solution around order management and CRM. Feel free to post any questions in the chat that you have on the left side of your screen, and we'll be happy to have a conversation throughout the session, as well as during the Q&A at the end. So let's start with distributors' operational challenges today. As some of you may know, we're facing a situation where we have a very fragmented ordering process for most operators and distributors, right? Operators are using email, text messages, voicemails, apps to place their orders. And this makes it very difficult for distributors to stay on top of things and be efficient, right? This absence of standardization is also here because we see that even if we have great apps on the market, great digital tools, operators are not necessarily using them because of the nature of the food industry and how things work, right? And beyond the fact that these channels are actually fragmented, we also know that customer ordering behavior changes day by day, right? There is no standardization. If I work at a restaurant, I would place an order today, texting my sales rep, but maybe tomorrow I have a new team member and they place an order over the phone, or the manager would like to send an email and then the sous chef leaves a voicemail. So that leads to very scattered operation, which creates a problem, right? Both on the operator side and on the distributor side. As a distributor, I have to make sure I keep an eye on all these channels. As an operator, it means that my team is not necessarily aware of where orders are placed, when, what are the items. There's a big lack of transparency in the process. And so, as I said, right, some operators are eager to use these new technologies that are on the market, whether they are white label apps from distributors or apps that gather ordering from all distributors in terms of marketplace. But we see that a lot of operators are resisting as well. And so this brings us to these challenges that we're facing today. And that is why we built Choco as a company, and that is why we wanted to discuss this topic today. This leads to different problems. The first problem is that it increases the number of errors and it increases costs and overhead for distributors to manage their ordering process. But the most interesting part here is that it reduces customer opportunity, sales, and upselling is really manual, right? And this is a very relevant topic for us today in terms of how manufacturers and distributors work together to push certain products. How do we do that if customer behavior is changing from one day to another, if channels are not harmonized? We have a lot of missed opportunities here to communicate better, order better, have access to promotion better. And so this leads us to an exciting world of opportunities, actually, to leverage digital operations and solutions that we have in the market. And so I'll pass it over to Georgie to tell us a bit more about artificial intelligence and how distributors can use it today to stay competitive.
Awesome. Thank you, Mathilde. Super excited to chat about AI. It's one of the most used terms today. And then a lot of people don't really understand exactly what that means. So let's dive into that. And we're going to start pretty high level and then kind of keep on breaking it down as it relates to the people on this call. So AI, or artificial intelligence, what does that actually mean? It's like a hyper intelligent assistant that can make real-time decisions. So one way to think about this is, let's say you had a master puzzle solver. Every time they solved a puzzle, whether that's a 10-piece puzzle or a 5,000-piece puzzle, the AI learns from every time it puts down a piece and gets better at solving that puzzle. So the next time it sees a similar puzzle, it will do that in a better or quicker amount of time. What about if we're talking about that more in the context for folks on the call today? Imagine you had a magic recipe book. It could look at a set of ingredients and then, based off of all of its knowledge, come back with the most specific and best use of those ingredients in the form of a recipe. That's the way AI works sort of today. And there are two different forms of AI that you might see. There's narrow AI or general AI. Narrow AI is actually probably something you interact with on a pretty daily basis. That might be like a spam filter for your email or something about recommending products online. But general AI is kind of what you've seen in the movies and is becoming much more of a reality today. It's where there are systems that can make real-time decisions and are using that to help inform what people do today. But as I mentioned, AI is actually still a part of what we do and what we see on a pretty regular basis. Every time you open your phone with Face ID, that's a form of AI. Anytime you turn on Spotify and you have a recommended playlist, that's a form of AI. If you're like me and you're sitting on your couch on Friday night and you need a movie to watch, turn on Netflix, that's a form of AI as well. So AI has been around for quite a long time, beyond what we've heard today with the explosion of tools like ChatGPT and other LLMs. But what's important is actually the way AI is continuing to evolve and bring value to not just consumers, but businesses as well. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Why has AI exploded recently? There's a couple key reasons for this. Number one, It's computers itself. That seems like a pretty obvious answer, but it's actually the power of these computers. There are more powerful computers existing today than have ever existed in the past. And that is super important to run the really complex algorithms that AI is based on. The second piece is data. As we talked about in the puzzle example, AI is really as good as the data that it's trained on. And the amazing part of where we are today is that there's more data available than we've ever had possible all throughout the world, but particularly within the food service industry. There's a ton of data that actually gets created, and all of that can go into training and making these AI models better. Finally, the technology itself is getting much more affordable to use. As I mentioned, AI has been around for a while, even for companies that have been using it, but it's generally been reserved for larger companies with bigger budgets who have the ability to actually take this. This is now being used by companies of all sizes to improve how they operate today. Next, operational efficiency. This is a huge one, especially as we think about the food service industry. There's a lot of efficiency gains that can be wrought from using AI tools. And that might only be, a couple % here or there, but that makes a super big difference in the bottom line for the businesses that are using it. And the final piece is that everyone is starting to do it. It's actually a pretty important piece, because if you don't do this while your competitors are, they're gaining this competitive advantage. And again, even with the things like operational efficiency, they're able to move ahead of you in a way that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. So that's more broadly for how AI is moving today. But what about for the food service industry? Like, why is it so specific for food service? If you look at this chart here today, this actually shows a general representation of the digitalization of the food service industry. And what you can see is that it didn't really digitize for a pretty long time. And it's been very recently where we've seen a lot more tools that are being introduced to the industry. And then what we're also seeing is that in the future, we're expecting to see much more modernization, much more digitalization at a much faster pace than what we've seen in the past. And why is that? Certainly, a lot of that is because of the AI tools that we're talking about and that are pushing forward. But parts of that are also about the industry itself, right? So there are a couple key pieces to the food service industry that are really making it this moment why AI is taking on, as well as other technologies. Number one, as I mentioned before, margins are tight. Every dollar counts. So it's really important to try to find these efficiency gains, which, as I mentioned before, AI can really help you do. This is also a really highly regulated industry. Whether it's IFMA 204 or other local regulations that are coming up, it's super important to make sure you're in compliance with those regulations, and AI can help with that along the way. And then finally, for every sort of customer along the journey, each are really demanding quality, and it's competitive. If they don't see that quality with the people that they're buying from, they're going to go somewhere else. And AI is a really big tool in being able to make sure that those quality metrics are really being met all the time. This is important not just for big companies anymore. As I mentioned, it's available for small companies. It's not just at the distributor level. It really helps the entire ecosystem. If you have a strong AI system at the distributor level, for example, that means more sell-through to operators. That means better sell-through for manufacturers as well. So when you're thinking about, well, where can I start to use AI? What are the types of things that AI is actually good for? It's really important to understand AI is not great for everything. There are some specific tasks that AI is very good for and some not as good. So let's take a minute to go through that. On the good side, administrative tasks, things that can follow a specific path, like workflows, process orientation, These all are places where you can see some structure in the way steps sort of happen, or there's relatively low complexity for the AI to actually complete those tasks. Another really important piece is around data enrichment. So data can be super messy in lots of different places. AI is able to take those various data sets, bring them all together, and put one data set together that's really usable and readable for the end user there. But what is not so good for AI? Strategic planning, things that require a lot of complexity. If you were to go to an AI tool and say, hey, build me a 6-month plan, build me a 12-month plan for what my business needs to look like, it actually wouldn't do a really great job with that, because there's a lot of nuance that goes into understanding how your business runs and different things about your industry that wouldn't allow it to come up with a great plan that you would actually need to yourself. Secondly, customer-centric relationships. Obviously, a big thing that falls into this is sales, something we're probably all involved with in one way or another. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some tasks that are part of sales that AI can't help with. But the core piece of being able to connect to a customer one-on-one is still really important, and AI is never really going to be able to replace that. All right, awesome. So we talked a lot about what is AI, why is AI and technology like this exploding for the moment, how is that related to the food service industry in general, where is AI good? So now you're starting to think about, okay, I want to do this. This is important. It's really great for my business. How do I make sure this actually works when I decide to go on this journey? So let's dive into that on the next slide. So one key piece here, AI is not usually a standalone system. It is something that integrates into a lot of the other systems that you work with. When we worked with distributors, our AI tool most notably integrates into their ERP. This is a key piece, a key connection to make sure the data that's coming back and forth goes into sort of like the main operating system for distributors as they're doing it. So as a first step, you want to make sure that capability is really there across the requisite systems that the AI tool is going to plug into. Number two is staff training. This is a huge piece that a lot of people sometimes will neglect, frankly. And you can put a lot of work into building this system, getting it set up, getting it integrated, starting to roll it out. If you don't train your staff on it, not just train your staff, if they're not champions of this tool, you're not going to get usage of it, and you're not going to see the benefits that you were hoping to get. So it's really important to bring them along the journey for when you first start. Once it's up and running, you need to have the right ongoing support for how that system works. The folks at your company aren't necessarily going to be the exact experts on what that looks like. So working with a competent partner who can help you to make sure that a system is always up to date, there's never any disruption to your business, is super important. And then finally, it's really important to understand what you're supposed to get out of this. What's the ROI on embarking on something like this? Certainly, there's going to be a cost. So there has to be the return on that cost to make sure from a generating sales or saving cost perspective that this tool is actually worth it.
Thanks, Georgie. So we talked a little bit about how fragmented order channels are a pain right now. We also talk about these concepts around AI. What does it mean concretely for distributors and manufacturers today in terms of sales and marketing? What are the tools that they can use, that you can use in your relationship, in your business today? So the main opportunities for distributors are around AI order management solution, because that is one of the tasks that is the most time consuming, right? It's a low value task most of the time. It's about entering manual orders into a system, and it can really free up time for a way higher value task for sales team. And the other piece is digital marketing. With digital tools today, distributors and manufacturers can reach 50 times better than ever before, right? Reducing food waste, increasing basket size. It's better for item turnover. It's better for sales. So one of these solutions, Georgie just talked about AI. What does it mean concretely for a distributor to leverage this today? It means that they can have what we call an omni-channel approach, where all their ordering channels can be merged into one. All orders can be recognized through different tools, such as voice recognition tools, optical character recognition tools. An operator can send an order with a manual note. AI will describe this order, and enter it directly into their ERP. You have other scenarios, such as an operator placing an order in Spanish, for example, or in French, in Italian, in Chinese, in Japanese, and Korean. Artificial intelligence will be able to transcribe this order into English and match this order to the right item that a distributor has in their catalog. So instead of spending, usually what we hear is sales reps or DSRs are sitting from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., really trying to input orders before cutoff time. Thanks to this solution, they can reallocate this time, and instead of inputting orders manually, keying in orders in their ERP, they can take this time back to increase their reach with their customer portfolio, acquire new customer, and sell better with the customers that they have. So bringing this fragmented ordering process into one ecosystem saves costs, reduce errors, as we said. Then distributors can also really capitalize on AI insights to make sure that their team are equipped with the right data to manage their portfolio, their customer portfolio, right? We're seeing in a lot of cases that either sales data is missing, or if sales team actually have data, this data is very difficult to use. So AI is really an interesting way to make these insights digestible and actionable for sales team. And ultimately, the two last points that you see in this slide are around increasing revenue and boosting retention, right? One of the top, some of the top priorities from distributors. So what it means concretely today is that as a DSR or as a distributor, and Joel will tell us a little bit more in a few minutes, I can send a marketing campaign to all my operators, either from my laptop or from my phone, from the palm of my hand, right? I can design a marketing campaign very easily, type a message, add an image. I can link the catalog item that I want to push, whether it is from a promotion, for an item that is close to expiry, or for a special campaign that I want to broadcast. I can select when I want to send this campaign, and I can reach my full customer portfolio in a few seconds, instead of printing materials that might be lost, sending emails that might not be open. This is what we've found to be the most efficient in terms of how marketing is shared between distributors and operators, and sometimes with the collaboration of manufacturers, obviously, to create this content and target the right customers. Once these campaigns are sent, the great thing about digital tools, as we just explained, is that it brings very useful insights around engagement or sales, as you can see in the image on the top right corner here. Once you've sent a marketing campaign as a distributor, thanks to digital tools like Choco, you can actually see who has viewed your campaign, who has clicked on it, who has actually added their item to their order guide so that they will order it next time, or even today, right after the promo, right? So you can monitor views, clicks, order guide addition, and you can monitor what type of revenue was generated from a given campaign. So it's very powerful, both for DSRs and for management teams, because they can have an overview of these insights throughout their whole customer portfolio. Now, you just saw what distributors are doing right now. We are also working on platforms for manufacturers to empower you manufacturers to be able to share your promotions, your offers, your products, your assets with distributors in a digital way, right? As I said at the beginning, we heard that it's very key for brokers these days to use digital tools. Well, we are building the same here for manufacturer and distributors to connect. And the good thing about that is that it offers a place for distributors to easily discover promos. That's what you see on this slide. And then it offers them a way to deliver promotions seamlessly, right? So promotions can then show up in catalogs, They can show up in order guide or in chat messages, as you see here on the right, with a direct message to an operator. That is the same thing that we saw earlier. You send a marketing campaign, you can see how it performs. You can also have insights at a broader scale here with dashboards where you can see sales, average basket size, how your promotion is performing, and have a market overview once you've sent that. So marketing analytics are also a very powerful tool to leverage thanks to this type of app adoption. And so now let's hear about Joel and how he is using this solution at Produce Express. And Georgie, I will let you take over.
Thanks, Mathilde. And excited to bring Joel into the mix. And so, Joel, first question for you on behalf of Produce Express. Why did you all start using Choco, and how has it been helping Produce Express since you've started using it?
We were looking for a solution that was based on requests from our customers. The current way that we operate was we have live representatives that you can call in and place an order to, or because chefs are busy during the day doing chef things, they would call after hours and leave a voicemail order. What they really desired to have was something kind of in between where they could use an app on their phone or on a tablet, because if you look around most kitchens, they don't have PCs hanging around to do web ordering with. They needed something that was really scalable, really easy to roll out with, so that they could place their orders on their time and get what they needed from us, but also have a channel for communication. So we evaluated that, and we knew right off the bat that our specialty is procuring and delivering produce. It is not developing applications. So we had some partners that were already using the Choco app and having great success with it. And so we really went ahead and formalized a partnership with Choco so that we could move towards getting in as a fully integrated supplier, which means the magic of customer orders flowing into our ERP. This was a fantastic step for us. This really brought about taking about 1,500 orders per week that were coming in on our voicemail that were then having to be transcribed and then entered by our staff, and flowed them directly into our ERP, saving us a tremendous amount of time and labor. Now, we also benefited from this partnership because it gave us a new avenue for communicating with these customers that don't necessarily have the time or desire to jump on a phone call and get through and be placed on hold. So the chat feature has been remarkable as well.
Awesome, Joel. Super exciting to see what the impact has been, and especially for the volume of orders you guys get in. Pivoting a little bit to talking about marketing, can you, two-part question, can you tell us a little bit about how you all focused on marketing at Produce Express prior to Choco, and then how you all are thinking about marketing campaigns now?
Absolutely. So before Choco, we were doing a heavily print-driven campaign. We would put together beautiful marketing materials. We call them market outlooks, and they would be a front and back printed color document that would talk about things going on in the industry, seasonal availability, items that we wish to promote, upcoming events, news you can use if you're preparing a menu in a kitchen. We would take those documents and we would entrust them to our delivery drivers to disperse them to each of their accounts when they were delivering the order, which it sounds good in theory. However, when you drop off documents plus an order to a busy kitchen or an institution, those promotional materials may suddenly go astray and they may miss the intended audience altogether.
Awesome. And just a bit more about how things are going today, or how you guys are thinking about that?
So one of the things that was an additional blessing that came with Choco, was that power to leverage marketing through the app. So we have a fully functioning website. We have social media that we will post and point people to the website with. The way that kind of falls short is that you can't order through us on Facebook or Instagram. So you're looking at an item that we're promoting, you got the information, and then your attention's drawn away to something else. And when you come back to place your order, you're not thinking about what Produce Express is necessarily offering. You're thinking about what you need or putting out a fire, figuratively or literally. With Choco, we're able to put those marketing campaigns into there. It shows up in the chat. It shows up right in front of their eyes when they open that app to place that order. They can click on it to get more information. They can be driven directly to items. Hugely important. One of the ways that we love marketing is by promoting the local family farms that we work with. And that's a huge deal to our chefs as well. They like to know where a particular item's coming from. If we're selling them a peach, it's not good enough just to know that it's a local peach. I want to know that it's from Twin Peaks Farm in the Sierra foothills. I want to know that it's their 5th generation of family farm owned and operated establishment. They want those details. Those will bleed over into the menus. I'm sure when you go to a restaurant, that's included somewhere in the menus. They're going to promote those items. They're promoting brands.
Awesome. Thank you, Joel. Super, super helpful, and appreciate your time here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Joel. So actually what Joel just explained here is how he's leveraging order management and CRM through Choco as a tool, as an online tool. And I just wanted to recap a little bit what we talked about and what we do in the food industry today. So our goal is really to bring the food system online, right? So today you can see on top, we're connecting distributors and operators. And at the bottom, we are adding a relationship with manufacturers and CPG to make sure that they can actually leverage what Joel just described, meaning having marketing campaign seen by operators at the moment of purchase, right? The moment they're placing an order is when they want to have access to this promo and to leverage what you are trying to share with them. So it's a very powerful thing to have all these stakeholders connected, and that is the mission that we are working on today. Same here, I wanted to recap what we talked about in a visual way. So the two main solutions that operators are using today when they want to leverage digital tools are either a white label app. So as a distributor, if I want to have my own digital storefront with my brand, my font, my catalog, I can use the white label app to make sure that I reach my customer with a strong digital solution. And then at the bottom, I have a way to channel all orders into one single process through Choco AI. And by working with companies like us, they ensure not only that the solution is working today, but that it's working tomorrow, right? Georgie talked about AI and how things are changing rapidly. One of the reasons why we are here is that we have over 100 engineers, data engineers, product designers, that are building around AI tools, and they make sure that the system is working today, but also tomorrow, because we have updates and new large language models that are updated every day with better performance. So we are really the technological arm to these distributors to make sure that they can have 100% of orders processed efficiently and have a solution that is over time performing well. One last thing that I wanted to show you here today during this session is how aggregated insights are great for sales reps and sales team to reveal customer opportunities, right? By bringing these operators and the sales team online, we are aggregating a bunch of very valuable data points that we can then play back to the users, whether it is a restaurant user or a sales rep, to make sure that they have the right information around how their portfolio health looks like, which customers are on the rise, which customers have order trends that are actually falling, what are the items that I'm selling the most, what are items that my customer usually order and forgot to order this time. So we help them stay on top of their game in terms of which customer they need to reach out to and which item they need to push or talk about with their operators. And before we wrap up on the product side, Georgie said that earlier, when as a distributor or manufacturer, you work on an integration with a digital partner, the product is very important, right? The quality, the performance of the product is important. But what is even more important, especially in our industry where people are used to working offline, is to make sure that we help them throughout the onboarding process, right? It's not enough to just offer an app to a distributor and to their customers. We make sure that they can reach high level of adoption. And this means very high touch processes with their operators, calling them, teaching them how to use an app, training the sales reps teams on site. We do a lot of white glove onboarding services because we know that it's not enough to just drop a tech solution on someone. We need to really follow them step by step, train them, answer questions. And this is how we actually reach 100% of order digitized. It's not done overnight. This is a process that takes time and that takes human touch, both from us and from their team with their customers. Before we finish this session, I also wanted to give a little bit of context to the audience here on where we are in the industry. So some of you might have heard we launched a partnership with Dot in April. Dot went through a very thorough review process of digital solutions on the market in the US, and they chose to partner with us at Choco. And the goal here is to make sure that independent distributors are offered an opportunity to look at solutions like us and to be equipped to stay competitive in today's world, right? They don't necessarily have the time and resources that large food service distributors have. And through partnerships such as this partnership between Choco and Dot, they can have access to AI and digital solutions that help them tremendously without investing the amount of money that they would have to if they were building the solution in-house. So we're super excited about this partnership and this joint go-to-market with Dot. We are also partnering with Unipro, Goldman, Federated, and other big groups. We're a proud member of IFMA, IFDA, and the Fresh Produce Association. And we're looking into extending our network and creating new alliances. So I would love to get in touch with some of you if you want to discuss that further. And I'll pass it on to Georgie to wrap it up and to open the session to Q&A. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mathilde. Yeah, I won't spend too much time on this slide, but yeah, we are Choco. We've been around for 6 years, headquartered out of Berlin in Germany. We have operations in several countries around the world. We work with over 25,000 operators, over 1,000 distributors worldwide, 400 employees in 30 cities. So we've been doing this for a bit. We've been on this AI journey for the last 12 months or so, especially. It's been really exciting to see and see the growth that's happened over that time. And we're excited to be a part of the IFMA community, and happy to take any questions now.
All right, everyone. Hello, my name is Alvaro Rojas. I'm IFMA's VP of Marketing. I'm going to help facilitate the Q&A. If you have questions, and I'm sure that you do, please drop them in the chat and we can get them answered. We have one here. Which AI features are distributors most excited about? Who wants to take?
I'm happy to start, and then maybe you can add on as well. I think there's a lot, to be honest, that's coming that is pretty exciting. So one, I think the core AI functionality that we offer today, which is saying, hey, 100% of your orders can now be digital. You don't actually have to take any manual anymore, is pretty exciting because it's really the foundational layer to everything else you can do to help to digitize your business. But I think the goal for us, based off feedback we've heard, is it's not just about order taking. It's how do we become this 100% omni-channel solution, whether that's for order taking, whether that's for communicating, whether that's for marketing as well. And there's various different mediums that you can do that, whether that's text, email, etc. But it's really meeting operators where they are and helping distributors continue to sell more.
Yeah, I think 2 points. I would like to add 2 points. One, that distributors are very, very excited about, especially in the last few weeks that we've launched, is multilingual solution, right? It's easy to say that you have the solution, but to prove that it works, it's another story. And we have users today that have orders in Japanese, Korean, Spanish, whether they're written down or left through voicemail, that are automatically created in their ERP. And usually when we launch this type of solution, there is really a wow moment that happens because it is very exciting. So you can have a reduced sales force and process orders from all type of operators, whether they speak your language or another language. And I think it's really amazing, and it helps people connect, right, and do business better. Another part that I think that distributors are very excited about is actually providing more insights and have this dashboard that we saw on the slide as a way for them to have a co-pilot. So I'm a DSR, I'm a distributor, and I want to look at what are the best promos I can have today, or which customers should I talk to because they are falling behind, and I have one place where I can get all these insights, and now how to plan my day and my week, because I think sometimes it can be confusing to have, data that you don't know how to leverage, and, you're on the road a lot, and you need very simple tools that help you organize your day and really maximize your time. So you reduce the amount of time that you spend on entering order, and you also increase the quality of your reach thanks to customer and order insights that you have on the platform. So we usually see a lot of excitement around those.
All right, we have 2 minutes, and we have just another question. Curious to hear. So what types of distributors do you normally work with, or the solution is best for in terms of ICP?
Yeah, so I think one interesting point with our journey is that we really started with specialty distributors because we wanted to make sure that our solution fit their needs. And as you know, catalogs for a seafood distributor or a meat distributor or bakery are very complex because they have different types of cuts and yields and unit variants. And so from a technological standpoint, we had to really work hand in hand with them to make sure that catalogs are well displayed, orders are actually sent to them in the way that they're expecting them, even if they have 50 different cuts for a ribeye steak, for example. And so we started with specialty distributors. And in the last few months, especially this year, and through our partnership with Dot, we are working more and more with broadliners, which I think is relevant for this audience, given their relationship with manufacturers. So I would say that our ICP is, an independent distributor that is small, medium, or large, and they can be a broadliner or a specialty distributor. And we're not now able to cover requirements for both type of customers. I don't know, maybe Georgie, you want to add something here as well?
No, I think that's the right mix for how we're thinking about that. I'd say like overall customer size has varied anywhere from 200 to 500 operators, but we've worked with folks who are a lot bigger than that and folks who are a lot smaller than that. So it's really kind of all shapes and sizes, but certainly we're seeing a lot more broadliners because of the Dot partnership. I did see this next question come in. Yeah, around Canada. Interestingly, we can cover Canadian distributors and operators. We don't have an active presence in there today, but we are able to work with those folks as well.
Perfect. Okay, I think we are at time. So Matilda, Joel, Georgie, thank you so much. On behalf of IFMA and all the attendees here, I want to thank you for being here and for sharing your insights. Just want to remind all the attendees that all the sessions are being recorded. So if you missed anything, make sure you go to the agenda and watch those recordings. They'll be available for the next 90 days. Now, we're not done yet. We have general session that's going to begin at 1 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you, grab your lunch, have a break, and meet us at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alvaro.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you all for joining. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.